Alright, so I'm finally getting to work on this wide body kit some more. I'm really excited to get it kind of finished up. It's really cold out, and I'm not handling this new weather really well, so I kind of sound rough, but it's going to be alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to match the rear to the front. So you see the front has a little bit of a fender gap. The rear has none. So I'm going to cut the rear out a little bit more so it matches the front. The reason why is because the car's not exactly slammed right now. You can see there's still some distance from the ground to the bottom of the car. So if the new owner gets this car and wants to put it on air or wants to lower it even more, then they'll have some room to do that, and you're not going to be hitting the fender into the wheel and causing all kinds of damage. So I think it's going to be the best plan, and I'm just going to leave the gap there because I don't really mind it for daily driving, for moving this thing around. I think it's going to look really good, and it's going to be pretty functional. So the plan is measure the front, transfer that cut to the back, and then build some stuff to make the back fenders work a little bit better, if I can get that done. I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm going to try to get that cut done at least, and then we'll go from there. All right, so from the top of the tire, we are about 1 1 1/8 of an inch. Over here we are 0 inches. So I'm going to, let's see. So we need to come up 2 inches. Oh wow, that's a lot. Are you sure about that? Oof, I don't know. That seems like a lot to cut away. All right, so I think 1 3/4 is going to be my first cut. Let's see, so that's right here. I want to add some foam inside of the door and inside of this fender right here to give it some structural support so that I have them in their final resting place before I start doing all that body work. So what I'm going to do so that these open and they look good when they're open and all that is build foam inside of here and build foam inside of here so that there'll be like a piece, a fiberglass piece that goes inside of here and goes in there. It'll give it some extra rigidity. Also, it's just going to make it look a lot better. So what I've done is I've put green foam in all the way down this fender. And I'm going to come back with some hot glue and glue it all the way down the seam so it doesn't move, and then I can sculpt it a little bit, make it real smooth. Cover that with tape, fiberglass over it. And then we'll have kind of this mounting surface and support bracket. It took me a long time to think about this, but basically this will all be one piece, and then there'll be a little flange, fiberglass flange right here, and we'll screw in there down the door, and that'll hold this thing to the door, make it really tight, so when you open the door, you'll be able to open it by this, and it won't cause any issues. I went ahead and filled in this skirt with foam. You guys saw me do that on the last side skirt video. If you haven't seen that, you can go back and watch. I built that whole side skirt kind of in one episode, so you can go check that out. I haven't done this one yet, so I'm going to go ahead and fiberglass this one while I'm doing all the fiberglass work for the fenders. What's that, bud?
No. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that being pushed in? Alright, so some of you guys might have noticed it's hard to see on camera, but the fender kind of cuts back a little bit towards the tire from where I made this new piece. So I thought about a bunch of different ways to do this, but I think the best way is going to be just to sand down that lip and build it out with fiberglass. So it'll be really thick, then I can cut it back and sand it. It's going to allow me to have a nice like rounded lip on the end of it, and it should be really strong if the tire does make... What's that, bud?
Build that fiberglass.
Yeah, we're going to build that fiberglass. Okay. Anyway, it should be really strong, so if the tire does make contact with it, it won't break or anything like that. So it's going to end up being like 6 or 7 layers of fiberglass. But once I sand it down, it shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. This is all experimental, so I'm gonna make a line, sand underneath it, and then just keep adding fiberglass till it's level. Alright, so this red line is where I need to add material. I used the plus system to let me know how much I needed. So like 2 pluses is a lot, 3 pluses is the most, 1 plus is a little bit. So I'm going to do 2 layers of fiberglass here, about 4 in this section, maybe more. Basically I'm just going to keep building and building and building until it's out flat, and then I'll just sand it back, kind of like sculpting, so that I get this nice kind of round shape here instead of having this obvious cutback where you can tell I added some material. So I gotta get these wheels covered up, and then I'll be able to fiberglass some stuff. I don't know how many layers I put of fiberglass on here. I just used the rest of the mat that I had to kind of fill this in. And you can tell it's kind of built up a lot. Hey, I'm talking to the camera. Okay. It's built up a lot. I decided I didn't really have to add anything right here because this transition is actually pretty smooth. I think with a good bit of sanding and some filler, I'll be able to fix that and make it look like it's one piece. And so I think I'm really good here. I think once I get this kind of sanded, to get the kind of the bulge out of it, and then get some filler over it, I think it's going to look really, really nice. Should be a smooth. Hey.
I turned that down.
Yeah, I saw that. It should be a smooth transition down to the wheel. So the other side is actually a lot better, so I shouldn't need it this much fiberglass. But I've ordered some more materials. I'm out of fiberglass materials, so this may be where I stop it today to let this set up. Show you some more stuff. The side skirt is set up pretty well. It's hard. And it fits good. It actually came out a lot better than the last one, so I'm gonna have to go back to the other one and fix some things that I fixed here. But next for this is gonna be to pull it off, fill it, and sand it a bunch. So I'll do that. I don't know if I'll do it on camera. If I do, it'll just be a hyperlapse thing because you guys have already seen me do that. So this side was much easier just because I knew what I was doing and I knew how to make this part. So it was nothing. Look at Daddy. Say cheese.
That's in Star Wars.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. Say cheese.
Cheese.
You look so cool. Look at Daddy. Say trick or treat.
That's in Fiberglass blanket.
Hey.
Look at Daddy and say trick or treat.
Treat, treat.